friends, it's Chris with Retro Crypt back for another video stream. My first video of 2024. Been kind of slacking, not gonna lie. It was one of my goals to do more streams 2024, and I'm off to a really bad start because it's, what is today? It's the 18th, halfway through January, and this is my first video. It's actually not my first video. I put up a short earlier reviewing the tattoo book I just bought, tattoo sketchbook. So check that out in my shorts. As I drink my last little bit of coffee. I bought a lot of games recently that I have to play. I obviously have to finish Broforce. I really am slacking on this. This is Valverde. So if you know anything about action movies, Valverde is a what would you call it? Not. It's a fictional country, South American country that's the country that they were in Predator. I think it's also in Commando as well. So I guess technically, schmechnically, Predator and Commando are a part of the same universe. I guess you could say that. I did miss playing this. Been playing a lot of Blasphemous lately. Kind of slowed up on it. I always get it. I've played through Blasphemous. I still haven't beaten it. I played it like, this is my third time trying to beat it. I always get to a certain point and then I just stop playing it because it's, don't get me wrong, it's an amazing game and I love it, but it's just too long and tedious. Like, it's way longer and more tedious than Super Metroid was, or is. But I don't know, maybe if I would have played Blasphemous when I was, the same age as when I played Super Metroid, I would have the same kind of affinity for Blasphemous as I do Super Metroid, but it's just like, I don't know. That was really easy. I don't know, Blasphemous is just, there's way too much stuff to do. Dog's going nuts because somebody's here. Yeah, so anyway, I had an eventful day today. Chris Jericho blocked me on Instagram. That was fun. Yeah, just basically said what should be said, that he's a washed up has-been stealing money from Tony Khan at this point. He tries to position himself as some goat when he's out here looking like an old lady, built like a wet bag of laundry. Not that I'm in great shape or anything like that, but he just looks horrible. And I don't know, I don't know. I feel like he's just kind of overstayed his welcome. And I'm not even talking about all the, sexual assault accusations aside. I'm just talking about from the standpoint of, I hate Hulk Hogan and all these old timers that take away time from the younger talent and stuff, but that's exactly what he's doing. It's exactly what Jericho and Sting and Flair are doing right now. They'll sit there and say that it brings eyes to the product. I mean, I suppose it does, but the thing is, you don't want that to be the only reason why there's eyes on your product. Because there's, old guys that should be retired still wrestling. And you're not really focused on building stars, you're focused on viewership. Which I get it, that's part of the game. But they're just trying to be WCW light at this point. But I feel like WCW had a much more unique product. Yes, they had Macho Man, Hogan, Flair, Arn Anderson, tons of older talents. But they didn't sit there and say, got all these old guys. Stealing the spotlight. I don't know, I just feel like they're not really backing up what they're saying. They're just kind of pretty much just signing WWE washouts. And it's not it's not that these guys don't have any talent. They have a ton of talent. Guys like Cesaro. I don't know his new name. But you know what I'm talking about. Cesaro, Miro. What's the other guy's name? Sean Spears. It's like they're like, haha, we got your guy, but it's like you only got them because they weren't drawing. Do you think Roman Reigns or somebody like that is going to go to AEW at the peak of their career? Even on the when he's on the downslope, he's not going to be going to AEW. The only person that they're taking from the Shield to AEW is Moxley because he sucks. He has to do fucking blood and guts shit in every single match. And it's like, I understand people say that they take pride in being more than just a casual, but casual viewership is like where your money is. At this point, AEW is a niche product trying to make like their, you know, second, even being second fiddle to WWE is a really good place to be because, you know, it's a $1 billion company, and being second to that is pretty big, but they're like a distant second. And the only reason why they're a distant second is because Tony Khan's daddy has a bunch of money that he could just funnel into a product. It's like, you probably won't remember this movie, but it's called The Toy from the 1980s, where it's like a little rich kid that has no friends basically buys Richard Pryor. Oh shit, xenomorphs are here. So he buys Richard Pryor, and he plays, because he has no friends, so he plays with them. The movie is called The Toy. It's essentially what Tony Khan's doing. It's like, I'm just gonna buy these people so I have, friends around me. And it's like, if you're trying to run a profitable business, you can't just be this. You just want to be liked by. You want to be a cool kid. You want to be liked by everybody. As much as I dislike Vince McMahon, and trust me, I'm not like a Vince apologist or anything like that. I think he belongs in prison, to be perfectly honest. He's a good businessman. He's a great businessman. He understands that he's the boss, and sometimes you have to be a piece of shit to be the boss in a successful company. You can't sit there and let people walk all over you and do a bunch of fuck shit because, oh, I thought we were friends. It's like, all that friend shit has to go out the window. You can't let people do shit and then use the friend excuse. Do stupid shit and use the friend excuse. That's the reason why I feel like AEW is, like, they started off really strong. I never watched it. I watched a couple matches here and there, but I always never. I don't know. It's like, I'll go in these forums and stuff, and I'll just like make fun of AEW fans because it's fun to get under people's skin like that, to, troll, quote unquote. But I'd never sat there and like, oh man, I gotta watch this because it's anti-WWE. If you're trying to be pro WWE and not, I'm sorry, if you're trying to just be anti WWE and not pro AEW, you already lost. Because you're not focusing on building your business. You're focused on trying to put somebody else out of business, and that's exactly what WCW did, and that's why they're out of business. They lit a fire under Vince's ass, and he figured out a way to crush them because they got too big for their britches with the NWO storyline, when they were killing WWF for a minute there, but they fucked themselves over by not focusing on growing their own business. Eric Bischoff said once he didn't want to focus on being better than WWF. He wanted to focus on being different, doing something different. So for a while, he was doing something different. They didn't do like the dumbass characters that they were doing, like the Goon and, TL Hopper and all that. don't get me wrong. Like if you watch some old WWF, WCW videos on YouTube, there, or if you just watched it from that time, you know that there was terrible characters in there as well. Like friggin' the Shockmaster or the Gambler. But at a certain point, they got away from that. They got away from, basically they just tried to do stuff that was more realistic. So the WCW, the NWO storyline at first, people really thought that they were, invading. People were calling the police like, oh, these guys with bats are at a wrestling show and trying to take it over. They were doing something really different and outside the box. That's why they were crushing WWF for a minute. I don't think at any point AEW has ever beaten WWE in the ratings. Never. And then people, excuse makers will be like, oh, that's because, the WWF, WWE, whatever, has been a company for all these years. And it's like, all right, come up with a new excuse. First, you're going to say you're going to put them out of business and you're better and this and that and the other. And then you're just making up excuses as to why your product is not winning. I hate that shit. Fuck. Getting my ass handed to me right now. Yeah, so Jericho blocked me. Mainly because it was something about Nancy Benoit. And they said, yeah, Jericho knows all about battered women. It's true. I don't know. How does he still have a job? That's insane to me. Because I'm really not about the cancel culture bullshit. Like Jonathan Majors losing all his money, his losing work and everything. Like, I hate that. I don't think he did what he's accused of. And even if he did, why should that person lose, because there's a lot of nuance. All right, so like Harvey Weinstein, for example, yeah, he belongs in jail. If you get into a heated argument or debate, two married people get into a heated argument and debate, and they obviously you shouldn't put hands on each other at all, but if it happens, that it's unfortunate, and that's something between two married people, and nobody should lose their entire life and livelihood over it. But with Jericho, some people like him, he has a pass because Tony Khan is a billionaire, and he's too afraid to lose one of his marquee stars, because he's losing all of them anyway. WWE, which was supposedly so horrible, is signing all of their talent. The only organic star that AEW has ever made, and probably ever will make at this point, because they're losing all their talent, is MJF, and he's already WWE bound. Jade Cargill left. I bet if Samoa Joe gets a chance to go back, he will. I don't want to see Hook in WWE. He's a midget. If they do sign him, I would love for them to sign him and just feed him directly to Jinder. Because how is don't get me wrong, I like Jinder Mahal a lot, actually. I liked his championship reign. I thought he was a really good, legit, quote unquote, foreign heel. WWE is notorious for the evil foreign heels. So he fit that mold perfectly. And he's from a I wouldn't say an untapped market, but a growing market that could be huge. So I think it was a really good business move to have him as champion. He was their 50th, and it's pretty auspicious to have him as the 50th champion. So you could put that kind of helps you remember. It's like one of those things like, oh, he's 50th champion was Jinder Mahal. Um, so putting the belt on him made a lot of sense in my opinion. And he had a lot of heat. He had a lot of heat. People don't realize that like good heel heat is an organic thing and at this point it's like you need that in wrestling. You need somebody like Million Dollar Man Ted DiBiase, or Jake the Snake when he was a heel, Macho Man when he was a heel. MJF is a good example. So I think Jinder fits right in there. He's got a good look. He's got a really cool theme song. They should have Conley come back as his heater. Bollywood Boys could go suck it. Nothing against them, but I don't know. They should just have Jinder and Conley as his bodyguard. Not bodyguard, but just his bodyguard essentially. Not. They shouldn't have him next to two friggin' tiny scrawny guys. So I like Jinder. Who else these days? Thing is, I'm not like a. I would say. I don't know. It's hard to really categorize how I feel about wrestling anymore. Like I grew up on WWF, but maybe it's just because I'm an adult now and the product isn't really for. It's for kids. It's essentially for kids, but which is fine, because I still play video games. I still watch movies that are quote unquote for kids. I still watch cartoons. But I feel like the wrestling product now is just to help sell toys and shit. I wouldn't even say that the Attitude Era is even my favorite era. My favorite era is like 1988-ish. Between then and like the golden age, essentially, when Warrior, Hogan, all of them. But I originally watched wrestling from around 88 to probably like 2001, 2002. And I stopped watching it at that point for a long time. I started watching again around 2015 maybe. I don't know, whenever Seth Rollins originally won the belt. That's when I started watching it again. But where was I going with this? It's gotten better, because I remember when I first started watching it again, it was when the WWE Network had a deal going on where it was like a free month if you get the network. And my ex-girlfriend and I were like, yeah, let's watch WrestleMania. That's the reason we got it. And we started watching it again. We're like, yeah. It's just something to watch after the gym. But at that stage, it was like fucking Authority. Ugh. Like that storyline just got so old. And it's gotten better since we've moved on from that, and essentially Triple H has become a nice as only a behind the scenes character, off screen character. I don't hate Triple H, but I also don't really like him, to be honest. I think he's got a great mind for the business, and I'd rather have him in charge than somebody else that doesn't know shit. He definitely would not be in this position without having married Stephanie McMahon. But it's kind of stating the obvious. But anyway, yeah, it's good to have him behind the scenes. Alright, let's get through these levels so I can start playing a new game. I feel like I've been playing this forever. Uh-oh. I already beat the game, but I wonder if these guys will kill each other. Nice. Fuck. I always do that. It's like, don't you see the friggin' giant rock that's about to fall on your head? I guess you could stab a xenomorph in the head. Xenomorph, if you will. Son of a bitch. Yo. You crazy. Crazy bitch. I remember that in Child's Play 2. The black guy was like, crazy bitch. I always thought that part was hilarious. Because she was a crazy bitch. Do 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 do. Man, no part of me wants to see that new Indiana Jones movie. Shit looks horrible. Horrible. Do 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 do. Been replaying Mega Man X, and that game is so much harder than I remember it. It's not really that difficult, but the Sigma final form is tough. First you got his dog, and then you fight him with his lightsaber. And then you fight a giant mech version of him, which, you know, if you know where and when to jump, you're good. But other than that, it's just a pain in the ass. What? Blarg. Yeah, you ain't nothing. You do nothing to me. You mean nothing. That was just luck. Does this guy actually do anything? Guess not. He dies, that's what he does. So that was Valverde. Good times. Levels 12, 13. 12 and 13. Hawaii. Ah, man, that's racist. Illegal aliens. Alright, so that was the stream for today. I'm definitely gonna be playing more again in the future because, you know, I need to make more videos and stuff. So, I hope you all enjoyed that. Tune in for the next one, and I'll see you later.